Hi guys, and welcome to School Management System developed in Python using MySQL database. This is a very advanced tutorial and is ideal for both beginners as well. Right, now let me show you guys how this works. Okay, now we have the details of Santana Montana right here, and here we have the details of Santana Montana guidance, and here are the subjects Santana is taking according to the curriculum. Here we have to complete 7 core units, and here we have 6, so we can look for one more core unit. Let's say is data science, and where we have no, that means he has not taken those units yet, and is taking this one now. This unit is already completed. That is how the subject area is taken care of. And like I said earlier, these are the details of just the guidance, or you can just say for emergency. In case of an emergency, that's who you contact. And up here are the details of the students. Okay, and here we have our database. Okay, this database is actually linked. Everything here, between here and here, is linked straight onto MySQL database. And here we have updates. Supposing we want to update any details in here. Now let's assume we want to update the national insurance number. Let's change that to maybe 4 something. And here, okay, take a good look at that. All we just need to do is to click on update. Right, and which means we have to update the details of Santana's family as well. So there we have the details of the guidance back as well, so we just have to update that. The choice is yours if you guys want to do it like that. But in any case, I'm going to take you guys straight into Python development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay, let's exit out and start a new project. Yes, and here I'm just going to select File, New. There we go. And I'm going to start by importing as follows. The following library that I'm going to import, that is Tkinter. And inside Tkinter, I'm going to import every single component. Let's say import it all. Now, the next thing I'm going to import is going to be TTK. Import TTK. I'll be using that for the checkbox. Then the next thing, let's import the Tkinter message component. So I'm going to just copy and paste that. Import Tkinter dot message box. There we go. And finally, we want to import PyMySQL. So let's go for PyMySQL. If you don't have that, you're going to have to install that on your system. To install that, all you just need to do is install PyMySQL. There. So I believe you know how to install whatever libraries you're missing. Okay, I think that's all there is to that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like create a class, and this class I'm going to call it school. There we go. That's my class ended with a column. Now the next thing is I'm going to create my function. We'll end up entering def space, then underscore, 2 underscores. Remember that. That's number 1, and this is the second one. Then you end up by adding initialize. That is how we write it here. Then another underscore 1, 2, and in there I'm going to say self, comma, root. So the application itself is going to be called root. If you like, you can, some people call their own maybe app, some call it master. The choice is yours, but I intend to call my root there. And this very root now is going to be referred to as self.root. So make sure you get that indented. We enter a dot there. And the very first thing I want to do is let it know that your name is root. There we go. Now let's give it a title. Come right down here. It's going to be self.root.title. Now this very title is going to be School Management System. There. Close that. Now what else? Let's define a background. Now let's go for the geometry first. That will be self.root.geometry. And the geometry, we're talking about the width and the height. So enter a quote there. The width, I'm going to make that 1350 by 800 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. That is the coordinate, which means the application is going to start from there all the way down and down. Now another self.root. This time around I'm going to configure the background color, and I'm going to be using Gainsborough. So let's hit self.root.configure, and what I want it to configure is going to be the background, and that background is going to be Gainsborough. There we go. There. Okay, so before I go any further, let me just run it up here, then I can run the program. You guys see how that look like. You end up by saying if, and you enter a space, underscore underscore name. If the name is called, the name that we want to call, that will be equals, and enter the name equals, and enter the very name right inside this quote here. And the quote, before you enter the quote, you must have underscore underscore as well. Then you said main. If the name is the main name, underscore underscore, end the quote and enter column there. And the name we're talking of is root, and this very root is going to be from TK. Okay, and we now come down here, we mention the name of this very application. So we say application equals run this class called school, and this class called school has the app name called root. Then we now want root to loop. Okay, let's go run the loop and carry out whatever process you need to carry out. There we go. Let's correct this. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to save this before I continue. So let's just give it a name. So right in this directory, I'm just going to call it, let's go for School Management System. School Management System. I'm going to call it pi underscore School Management System underscore YouTube. There. So that's the one I'm developing there. Save. Okay. Now that that is saved, let's run the program together. If there's any error, we can always take care of it. There. See, I purposely did that so that you guys can see the mistake that I've made there. Something is missing, and that is supposed to be the column. So in here, enter the column. There we go. Now let's run it again. anything for this. There we go. That's it. Our system is now ready. That's the form. Alright, close that and let's start work with the frames. Now, I'm going to take care of the very first frame, and this very first frame, let's call that main. The main frame. Okay, just come right down here. Okay, so the name, like I said, I'm going to call that main frame. Main frame is going to be a widget called frame. There. Why this very widget called frame is going to be resident right inside self.root. There we go. Comma. Now let me set a border for it. I'm going to make that BG, make that 10, BD is 10, and the width, I'm going to make the width approximately 1300 plus 1350, and the height, I'm going to make that maybe 700. Okay, let's make it about 750. That's fine. Then I want it, I'm going to relieve it. Let's say it's going to be rigid. There we go. Now the next thing is I'm going to kind of like round it up. Let's put it within a grid. Dot grid. There. Since it's going to be alone, I'm just going to round it up like that. Next thing, I'm going to copy this. Because if I run this now, you guys will not be able to see the frame, but the frame is right there. Let me run it and you see what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at it. You can see the edges of the frame is already emerged. Okay, so I'm going to end that. Let's see if I can even bring it up here. Alright, let's come in here and just maybe make that about 700. Now copy that. Come right down here. The next thing is I'm going to create an outer frame. This outer frame, I'm going to change that to 1340, and let's go for about maybe 600. Then we'll start taking it from there, and I'm going to make the rule of that equals 0, comma, and the column is going to be 0 as well. Right, and I'll just call it outer frame. Outer frame and outer frame here as well. There we go. Okay, outer frame is defined. Then I'm also going to have some more frames in there. Let's copy this. The other frame that I'm going to enter now, I'm going to call that, let's go for innermost frame. Okay, so that'll be innermost frame, and this as well. Change that. There. Now, you see with the outer frame, this very outer frame, I am going to make sure that it's inside main frame. Copy that and put it right here. Get rid of this. Main frame will be the parent of outer frame, and the innermost frame is going to be the child of the outer frame. Copy this and paste this right in here. Okay, with the innermost frame, I'm going to add a color, a background color, just to change it around. Or let's just type it in there. So BG equals, I'm going to make that cadet blue. just to differentiate it. Right. Okay, with the innermost, the row is 0, column is 0, and the same thing with the outer frame. So let me run it and see how those two will look like first. Then we can speed things up with the frames. Okay, there we go. Look at the frames. Okay, and this very innermost frame, we're going to have to do something with that as well. But the border, if you guys notice the border of the innermost frame, I'm going to change that to 5. I think 10 is too much. Okay, let's change it to 5. Innermost frame, make that 5. Right. And the innermost frame, we reduce this to maybe, yeah, make this about 6 as well. Okay. Right, so I may have to speed up the design of this interface. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Now close that. Take this back to 700. Okay, now the next one is going to be inner frame. So I'm going to copy this. Paste that in here. That is inner frame. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. And inner frame is a child of outer frame as well. Outer frame. Copy. Yes, right there anyway. And now we want to now change the column to 1. There. The width is going to be 700. In that case, let me change the width of this one to 600. Okay, they both have 500, and they both have this background color. So let's run that and see how that's going to look like. There we go. See, the frame is now divided. That's good. So close that. Now I'm going to add the bottom frame. As you guys can see, there's some space at the bottom, so I'm going to add those ones now. Now close that. Come right down here, copy this again. Oh, it's already copied. Come right down and just, oh, it's not copied. Undo. Let's copy this, paste it right here, and this very one I'm going to call it bottom inner frame. And the bottom inner frame is going to be resident right inside main frame. Grab the main frame and paste that right here. Now the border for that, okay, let's push it out. Let's say about 7. The width is going to be 1000 plus. And the height, let's make that about 3. Get rid of this. We don't need border for that. We don't need a back color. And what is the row is going to be row number 2, and column is 0. There. Okay, so let's change the height of this then, and let's run it and see how that's going to look like now. Run, let's see. And we just, that is it. Look at it. Look at the frame right underneath here. Okay, so it's coming up. Now, the frame is taking too long. I still need more couple of frames there. So let's speed that up. Okay, I've finished up with all of the frames. There they are. There seems to be a lot, so let me show it to you. Let's take it from the top here. Okay, let's just add something here to break it down. That's the frames. There. and the frames actually ended here. Then we can start work with the widgets. Okay, take it from the top, have a good look, bring it right down. There we go. That's the end of the frame, and there we go. Right, so I will now run it, then we'll just take it from there. Okay, run, and there we go. So that's going to be for my, I think this is too small, I'm going to have to change that. This should be for my personal details and the information on the database and so on. Okay, that's for my button, that's for guidance, and this is for subjects, so that is good. Alright, that's fine. Apart from these ones, let's change this. That's for display. Okay, that should be maybe about 4, and this one will be about 8. Right, so let's take care of some widget now. Okay, that's much better. Now right underneath here, I'm going to create my very first widget. Okay, the very first one is going to be label, so I'll call that LBL student ID, and this student ID, that's going to be a label, and this label will be inside display frame. It's a child of display frame there. And let's set the font now. Font equals, I'm going to make that area, and this area is going to be approximately 12, and let's make that bold and close that. That's for the font. So let's enter text. The text is going to just be student ID. I'll correct that. Right, and comma, let's put a border to it, make that about 7, and get it anchored. Leave out the anchor first, so let's just see how it's going to look like. There we go, and let's just place it on a row first. See how it's going to look like. If I have to add an anchor or justify it to the left, I'll do that. Dot grid, and that is going to be 0, column 0. Right, copy paste there. Now let's say I'm going to get it padded first. Let's pad it to the x-axis, make that about 5, and y-axis I'm going to make that about 5 as well. Was 5. So I'm going to save and run that. There we go, that's my label right there. So for now, that's looking a bit promising. So let's copy. I'm going to copy all of this again. Copy that and paste it right underneath here, and that is going to be for the text. So I'm going to just change that to txt, and txt student here as well. And this student is going to be on row 0, column 1. And because this one is column 0, this is column 1. And let's change the widget. The widget is going to be entering widget. Now, what else do we need to change on it? We need to change the font is fine. We're going to have to get rid of this, but we'll change that to text variable later on. And I'm going to make this about 5. Now let's add the width. I'm going to make that about maybe 29 for now. So most of what I'm doing is just for now. I might end up changing the appearance of everything. Okay, so this is fine. Get rid of these ones. I will take it from there. Run. There. That's good. Close that. Just going to copy that now. Copy and change things around. So the next one is going to be the name. Paste for name. Paste it again. This will be first name. And if this is 1, this is going to be, this is 0, so this will be 1. 1, 1. This will be 2, 2. This is 3, 3. So all I need to then do is change their details around. And here, that's fine. And this one will be first name, right? Right, and all of this will be first name. Change this to first name, and so on. Okay, I had to speed up these ones. Let's run this and see how that's going to look like. Let's see. I need about 9 there anyway. That's it. Not bad. And this one, look at it. So I'm going to have to align those. Alright, so let's first of all, let's do one thing first. I'm going to say strictly make that west, west, and make all of them west. And this one is going to be west as well, west, and west. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to copy this 5. I'm going to copy all of these and change it around. Come right down here, paste. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is 4. So this one is going to be 5, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8. I may have to change the gender around. Alright, let's see how it's going to look like. There we go. That's fine. So you see the gender. I need a gender there, so I'm going to change that to a ComboBox. So it's going to be the 4th one. We still need to change the details of this very one. I'm going to get rid of all of these. And I'm going to change this to gender. I'll repeat the same thing for the rest. Then we'll change the input around to a ComboBox. Paste and paste. And right underneath, I'm going to, let's say self dot. I think I should just make all of them self, really. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to make it all self. 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 I will have to repeat the same thing for all. Let's speed that up. Okay, right here, now I have them as self, so they are more or less more related to the root now. Okay, so let's say gender. So for the gender, I'm going to call that CBO gender, and this very gender, the widget that I'm going to be using will be, I'm going to call that ttk dot ComboBox, and that is the reason why I actually imported this library, because of that. So you need that library as well. So let's come right back down here. Now that is my combo box, and this combo box is going to also be inside here, inside display frame. Paste that in there. And what else do we want for it? We also want the width. I'm going to set the width to about, come right down, combo, okay, paste that here. That is the width. And the font, grab a font, paste it here. There's a font there. What else do I need? I'm going to need the states. What is it going to be? So let's just call it read only. Okay, states is going to be read only equals read only. Alright, that's the state of my combo box. Right. Now, I now need to specify what's going to be inside the combo box. So let's copy this combo, paste it right there, and right inside the combo we need to, I'm just going to enter two values. Okay, that is going to be, let's open up a bracket and let's enter space, add space. Now the next value is going to be female, comma, let's enter another one. The next one here, that will be male. There. So those are the values in there. And now I want the widget itself to display the very first content, and the very first content is empty, so we're just going to make that current equal 0. Paste that in there. Dot current value current equals 0. Put that 0 in a bracket. Now, all I then need to then specify is that is 5 by 5. Okay, copy that. The grid is going to be 5 by 1. Yeah, that should be 1. I'll close that up. Okay, so I'm going to get it indented and just, let's close this and then run it. I'm going to change this to, this is 29, this cannot be 29, that'll be 27. So let's get this indented. Can go to, let's go to format and just get it de-indented. Can do it individually or hold on to your control and tab there. Right, so that's my combo box. So I'm now going to run it and let's see how that's going to look like. There we go, look at that, guys. We can now select. Okay, and with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this tutorial. I'll see you guys shortly.